lost in spin, no ambition, not up to the challenge of the moment. And it's not just education and health that needs reform. Fraud has become commonplace. 7 million incidents a year. Britain routinely ripped off. But the business secretary has suggested it doesn't even count as crime. The fraud is just the tip of the iceberg. Victims are being let down whilst this government lets violent criminals off. The overall charge rate stands at a pathetic 5.8%, meaning that huge swathes of serious offences like rape, knife crime and theft have effectively been decriminalised. A government of the moment would say, enough is enough. Invest in community policing. Pulling resources, nobody can be proud of this record of 12 years. Invest in community policing. Pulling resources away from vanity projects like his ministerial yacht. It would strengthen protection for victims of crime and antisocial behaviour and increase the number of specialist rape units in the justice system so that it stops routinely failing women. Instead, we have a government that talks tough whilst letting the justice system fall apart. No care for victims or their communities, not good enough, not up to the moment. We have a government whose time has passed, a cabinet out of ideas and out of energy, led by a Prime Minister who's entirely out of touch. Mr. Speaker, it doesn't have to be this way. It won't always be this way. A Labour government would tackle the cost of living crisis head on. Get Britain growing again after 12 years of failure. Improve public services so they deliver for people paying for them. A Labour government would rise to the moment where this government has badly failed. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
As I walked through the streets of Kiev last month, I saw firsthand the wholehearted support, what the wholehearted support of this House and this country has meant to the brave people of Ukraine. So let the message ring out from this chamber today. We will persevere in our support for the Ukrainians until Putin has failed and Ukraine has won. Mr. Speaker, during the pandemic, this government worked night and day at extraordinary speed to protect lives and livelihoods across our whole United Kingdom, whether by injecting £400 billion of direct support for the economy and supporting jobs through our world-leading furlough scheme, becoming the first country in the world to administer an approved COVID vaccine, or by delivering the largest testing programme and the fastest vaccine booster campaign in Europe, all of which allowed us to retain one of the most open economies and societies across the continent, which we wouldn't have done, by the way, if you listened to my party office, with the fastest growth in the G7 last year. Now we will bring that same urgency, impatience and determination to deliver on our mission of getting our country back on track and easing the burdens on families and businesses across the land. That's why we've already committed £9.1 billion to assist with energy costs alone. We're giving back £150 to people in their council tax, cutting fuel duty, increasing the warm homes discount, increasing the warm homes discount, creating a tax cut for 30 million workers by raising the national insurance threshold, delivering the biggest ever increase in the national living wage, worth an extra £1,000 a year for those working full-time, Mr. Speaker. But however great our compassion and ingenuity, we cannot simply spend our way out of this problem. We need to grow out of this problem by creating hundreds of thousands of new high-wage, high-skill jobs across the country. And as I give way to the lady opposite, Mr. Speaker, I remind the House that there has never been a Labour government that left office with unemployment lower than when they came in.